Nyoka, the Jungle Girl, and the Jungle Myth of Terror. Chapter 1. The Griffin, Real or Fable? The griffin was half lion and half eagle, but in size it was 8 times as big as the king of the jungle. But the only place you could find any mention of this man-eating monster was in the books of mythological animals. That is until Nyoka had to prove that the beast really existed in order to save her reputation and career. At the Jungle Commissioner's office.
You sent for me?
Yes, Nyoka. Mr. DeGray here has brought charges against you for breaking the hunting code.
Me? Break the code?
According to Mr. DeGray, you and the members of the parties you led into the jungle on hunting expeditions have killed animals wantonly, cruelly, in addition to ignoring the game limit quota.
That's a lie. DeGracy made up that story.
Now why should I want to do a thing like that, Nyoka?
The reason's very obvious, DeGracy. Through no doing of my own, everyone who comes out here to hunt wants me to act as their guide, and you, consequently, aren't getting any business.
We've thought of that too, Nyoka. But DeGray says he can substantiate his charges.
Oh, yes? How?
If you all agree to follow me into the jungle, I'll show you proof of my statements.
In the jungles?
Look, there's the first batch of the wantonly killed animals.
Stop the car so we can have a close look at them.
It looks as if these animals have been clawed to death, judging by the marks on their hides.
That's ridiculous, and you know it, Nyoka. Where would you find animals with claws as big as those gashes?
I must admit, it does look as if they've been cruelly beaten to death with some kind of ragged iron bar.
And if you look in any direction, you'll find more dead animals, cruelly beaten, just like these.
I agree it's a terrible thing, but how am I tied up with this?
You said yourself, Nyoka, that no one has hired me as a guide since you've arrived here. The only ones who've been going into the jungle are you and your parties. The first time I've been in the jungle since you came here was this morning, and that's when I discovered the animals. Everyone in town, including the commissioners, will back that up because they've seen me there all the time.
That's the truth, Nyoka. And anyone looking at those dead animals can see that some of them have been dead for at least a week. I'm afraid that means only you or some members of your party could have been guilty of this.
I admit it looks bad, but I give you my word that neither I nor any member of any of my hunting parties was responsible for this.
What can we do now?
I suggest we go back to the office and hold a meeting.
Later, in the commissioner's office in town.
Here come the commissioners now. I hope you get what you deserve.
You mean you hope I get what you hope I deserve, so you won't have any competition.
We have known you for a long time, Nyoka, and find it hard to believe that you would have had anything to do with such a cowardly act. But it is impossible to ignore the evidence.
If it was anyone else but you, Nyoka, we would have revoked his hunting license immediately. But because of your reputation, we have decided to give you 24 hours to bring proof that you weren't responsible for those wanton killings.
If you can't do that, Nyoka, we will have no choice but to suspend your hunting and guide license.
24 hours, that doesn't give me much time to prove my innocence, especially when I don't even know what caused those animals' deaths. I don't believe in running away from a fight, but this is certainly the toughest job I've ever had to do. I'll never be able to find proof. I might as well go back to the hotel, pack my stuff, and leave. I know when I'm beaten.
But as Nyoka starts packing in her hotel room...
Excuse me for barging in, Nyoka, but I had to see you.
Pierre Pastel, what happened to you? When you left here to go into the jungle to paint some nature scenes 2 days ago, your hair was as black as charcoal. But now it's as white as snow.
After what I saw, Nyoka, I am lucky all my hair didn't fall out. You've got to do something about it, or the jungle won't be safe for anyone anymore.
Calm down, Pierre. Now what are you talking about?
Just this. This is the most ferocious beast I've ever seen. One blow from his claw is enough to rip the side of a lion and kill it instantly.
Huh? I've never seen anything like it before. Where did you get the painting?
I was prowling around the jungle looking for a good scene to paint when I suddenly caught sight of the monster. Even though my instincts told me I should run, the artist in me couldn't resist the temptation to sketch this fantastic-looking animal. I have to get this animal on canvas, or no one will ever believe me. But no sooner had I finished the painting than the monster spotted me. There, this rough painting will do until I get back and repaint it carefully. The beast, has spotted me. It's the size of a skyscraper, but it has the speed of a racehorse. I'm done for. But then fortunately, I spotted a cave and I'll be safe in here. The size of that monster will prevent it from coming in after me. I didn't think of this. He's going to crush the whole cave and me with it. But luck smiled at me, or just then a lion drifted by, and the monster forgot about me and went after it. No, he can fly too. Well, while he's busy going after the king of the jungle, this is my chance to get out of here.
Are you sure those are the facts, Pierre, and not something you might have imagined?
I saw that monster as clearly as I see you.
If that's the truth, it could be the reason for all those dead animals we found in the jungle earlier today. But before I can say anything, I've got to see if there's a record of any such animal as this. I know one thing for sure, it's no modern animal, so I better check this book on prehistoric beasts.
But there's no trace of the animal in the book.
The more I look at your painting, the more I think I've seen this animal around somewhere. I think I'll have a look in this book of mythological animals. Here it is, the griffin!
Now, do you believe me?
I'd like to, Pierre. Since my reputation and future depend on it, but common sense tells me not to. Remember, this is a book on mythological animals. It means these animals really never existed.
If it didn't exist, then how did I sketch this painting?
That's what makes everything so strange.
Oh, if you'll come with me, Nyoka, I'll prove to you that the griffin is no myth, that it not only exists, but is terrorizing the jungle at this very moment.
All right, Pierre, I'll go with you. I'll get ready right now.
I'll go get my stuff together, too. I'll meet you back here in half an hour.
The sooner the better. I have only 24 hours to prove my case to the commissioner.
But as Pierre walks down to the lobby of the Jungle Hotel...
Pierre Pastel, what's happened to you? You've aged 20 years overnight.
And after Pierre explains...
And now I must go get my stuff if I'm to meet Nyoka within the half hour.
This doesn't sound possible. But if it should be true and Nyoka can prove it, I'll be no better off than I was before. If the griffin does exist, I've got to make sure that the commission never finds out about it. By the way, Pierre, who else knows about this?
Only Nyoka and yourself. I'm afraid to tell anyone else, for fear they'll think I'm crazy.
I think you're right there, Pierre. It's best not to say anything to anyone. Since no one else knows about it, I can follow Nyoka and Pierre into the jungle and kill both of them. In that way, I will still accomplish my aim, and everyone will think Nyoka just went away because she couldn't prove she wasn't guilty of cruelty killing all those animals.
Later...
Hop in, Pierre, and we'll be off.
I'll give them a chance to get started, and I'll follow at a safe distance.
That night in the jungle...
Getting too dark to go any further, Pierre. I think we ought to make camp here.
Shortly after...
What was that? A tiger! If I take careful aim, I should be able to get him with one shot.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I should do it with one shot. Only I'll be aiming at Nyoka instead of the tiger.
A beast in front of her and a beast in back of her. Nyoka is really in a terrible spot. Is there any way out? Read on for Chapter 2 of The Jungle Myth of Terror.